The economy posted quarterly GDP gains with strong retail, mining and some manufacturing growth in 2025 compared to 2024. Economist Dr. Azar Jamin says the growth trajectory can be attributed to many developments, including structural reforms.
We saw an upturn in gross fixed capital formation for only the second time in 9 quarters. And one has to reiterate that you cannot get higher sustainable economic growth if you don't invest more in the economy. And instead, for many years, we've been investing less and less. But the most recent figures show a slight turnaround, an improvement. We have also seen South Africa being lifted off the greylist by the Financial Asset Task Force of the world on the basis of doing more to fight illegal transactions and money laundering. We've also seen South Africa's credit rating being upgraded by a notch by Standard & Poor's Global, which in turn is a function of the realization that the government is sticking to its guns with fiscal discipline.
South Africa, for the first time in history, had 3 national budgets in 2025, attributed to, amongst others, disagreements over a VAT increase by members of the multi-party governance, the Government of National Unity.
It was for the first time under democratic South Africa that we found ourselves having what you call coalition government. And we found that we experienced a Minister of Finance having postponing national budget on the last hour. That really ended up creating an uncertain environment. But also there was a global persistent, as you will know, that South Africa is a small and open economy, which means that whatever happens globally, it really affects us. And we found ourselves in a more global uncertainty, with geopolitical uncertainty being persistent.
Geopolitics also played out, with the US imposing a 30% tariff on select South African goods and snubbing the first ever G20 World Leaders Summit on the continent, hosted in Johannesburg, South Africa.
I saw some of the data or sound bites coming out of national treasuries to the fact that we don't seem to be accredited in 2026 cheating, which is quite unfortunate, because you would expect that South Africa will go into 2026 really carrying and championing some of these consensus that came out of the declaration in 2025 G20. It's really unfortunate, but we're hoping that, like I said earlier, with the now designated ambassador, a U.S. ambassador to USA, such tensions may be dealt with earlier in the new year, so that South African delegation can really continue to participate in G20.
With 2026 upon us, the hope is that of economic growth, with Dr. Jamin saying there's still work that needs to be done.
It's a gradual process. There are still huge stumbling blocks to overcome, including high levels of crime, poor levels of education, and associated productivity, the low level of small business activity that one is seeing in relation to big business activity compared with other countries. These are structural aspects that still need to be addressed.
Expectations are that of a consensus around the budget set to be delivered in February 2026. The country is also expected to head to the national government elections, an activity that is likely to have an impact on the economy. Katlego, Legodi, SABC News in Johannesburg.